We are monitoring strong words from Iran's supreme leader tonight as the U.S. builds up its naval presence near the Middle Eastern country. Iran's leader saying if the U.S. were to attack it, it would spark a, quote, regional war. Now, those comments coming following USS Abraham Lincoln, that carrier strike group, being deployed to waters very close to that country. NewsNation's Hannah Brandt is joining us live from the White House tonight with the very latest. And Hannah, we understand the president has responded to this strong language. What is he saying?
Well, Natasha, in the face of these new threats from Iran, President Trump is responding with a warning of his own. And you're right, this does come amid that recent U.S. military buildup of this massive armada of warships and fighter planes in the region. And that's really significant, as over the weekend we saw Iran's supreme leader say his country will, quote, strike a strong blow against anyone who attacks them, also directly warning if the U.S. starts a war with Iran, it will lead to a regional war in the Middle East. Now, when asked about the threats, here's what President Trump had to say.
We have the biggest, most powerful ships in the world over there, very close, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we don't make a deal, then we'll find out whether or not he was right.
So as you can hear, the president not committing to military action one way or another and referencing those ongoing negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. But let's remember, over the summer, the countries did try to negotiate over Iran's nuclear program, and it was during those discussions that President Trump ordered that major military strike on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. Now, Iran has said this time around, if the U.S. strikes their country, it would respond by targeting U.S. military bases in the region and close American ally Israel. Natasha?
And Hannah, meanwhile, we know that the partial government shutdown is continuing tonight. Democrats and Republicans are still sparring over reining in Trump's immigration enforcement operations. What is the very latest there?
Well, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he wants to end this partial government shutdown as soon as possible, but he does face an uphill battle in the House at this point. And as we know, the longer this partial shutdown lasts, the more impacts we're going to see. The Transportation Department just put out their shutdown plan, and that plan says they're going to furlough more than 10,000 FAA workers, also estimating 1,300 air traffic controllers would work without pay. Now, just this morning, Speaker Johnson told Fox News he does think the House is going to be able to pass this funding package on Tuesday, although he acknowledged he faces some really tricky political dynamics in getting that done. And that's because House Democrats at this point say they aren't willing to fast track this funding package because they want guarantees on reforms to ICE. So Republican leaders are going to have to move this funding package through the House's regular rules process. And when it comes to the floor, if we see all Democrats vote against it, Republicans won't be able to afford to lose more than 1 vote. So the math is really tough on ending this partial shutdown at this point. And meanwhile, we've got the clock ticking on negotiations over long-term funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Remember, the parties right now are discussing reforms that they want to see in the agency.
What is clear is that the Department of Homeland Security needs to be dramatically reformed. Body cameras should be mandatory. Masks should come off. Judicial warrants should absolutely be required, consistent with the Constitution in our view, before DHS agents or ICE agents are breaking into the homes of the American people or ripping people out of their cars.
Some of these conditions and requests that they've made are obviously reasonable and should happen, but others are going to require a lot more negotiation.
So which conditions are Republicans open to? Well, Speaker Johnson suggests they might support an end to roving ICE patrols and that requirement Democrats are asking for body cameras. But the speaker did push back on Democrat asks for ICE officers to stop masking and to carry ID. He said that could potentially be dangerous for these officers. And he also suggested those new warrant requirements that Democrats want would be a bit of a problem. And to add to all of this, Democrats in Congress are continuing their push to try and impeach DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, though at this point, that effort really isn't going that far as they just don't have the votes on Capitol Hill that they would need to do that, Natasha.
All right, Hannah Brandt tracking all of that live at the White House for us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.